MSI announced the Shadow 2X and Shadow 2X OC, a dual fan design for the RTX 5070. It appears to be the smallest 5070 from any manufacturer, at least according to PC Part Picker, being only 231 millimeters in length. But here's my issue with this, and I've seen this a lot of times, is why does MSI need 19, I kid you not, 19 versions of the RTX 5070 when they don't appear to be able to consistently ship any of them at MSRP? What is actually going on here? I legitimately would like the answer, because I legitimately don't know. What is the point of creating more and more and more versions of this GPU when you can't fulfill orders for your earlier GPUs that you already released?
Some of them are so similar too.
Okay, hold on a second. So Ed Zelm says MSRP is too low. Yes, that is one of the reasons. So you stop shipping your MSRP card that you released and you go, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. We have an MSRP card. We just don't have that one right now. We have the more expensive one. But in a lot of cases, that's not even the defense, because it's not just always a new higher price one. It's just another one. And Made in Canada says because money, but it's like, no, you're not making more money by developing yet another board and yet another cooler. If anything, you're just adding cost. Spider Murphy says shareholders like big numbers of products. That's not even true. Shareholders like a well-understood product line that sells well. There is no way on this green earth that MSI releasing another version of 5070 could possibly impact their sales of RTX 5070. Their allocation of GPUs from NVIDIA is fixed at this time. So yes, they could be more competitive, in a particular, it's a smaller one or whatever. Like this particular card could be more interesting or whatever. But at the end of the day, they will sell 100% of the 5070 GPUs that NVIDIA ships them. So what are we doing here? What is the point of this? Does anybody know? I want to know, legitimately.
I have no idea.
Luke, do you know?
I can't even guess, to be honest. It seems very weird to me.
But it's something that I've seen time and time again. You'll have this product that's under allocation, and you'll have these brands releasing more and more versions of it. For what purpose?
Yeah, Mr. Wizard 2K said market capture.
Yeah.
Like, is it just your like news stuffing, kind of?
Maybe, but to what end?
I don't know, just getting your name out there.
Give me the news that you have it in stock.
Yeah, I hear that, but Google News feed. If I scroll over to my feed and I see, MSI released a new 5070 or something, they're just.
I guess it's making us talk about it.
Is there any stock of any of this stuff?
Jake message saying that in Canada there's some 50 series cards that are in stock at Memex, but apparently in America it's still really tough right now. Mighty Mike asks, do they get extra allocation for each product line? Not that I'm aware of, but Bent Bob has a good theory. More SKUs means more listings in store pages, even if they're out of stock, and therefore more brand awareness.
But this is kind of...
That's an idea.
Yeah.
What else are we looking for? Yeah, more search results. Maybe it's that.
Man, GPU prices are so broken. I don't even know. I went on Amazon and I looked for MSI NVIDIA 5070. What am I even looking at?
Raiden 428 says Zotac are being legends. Their Discord is a great place to get cards. That's pretty cool to see them engaging directly with the gaming community.
Sweet.
Like that. All right. The same day that MSI released this card, NVIDIA claimed it has shipped twice as many RTX 50 series GPUs compared to the RTX 40 series 5 weeks after launch. However, it is worth noting that the RTX 4090 was the only RTX 40 series card for the first 5 weeks after its launch, and it also suffered from stock issues. So that's something. So they actually have like 4 times as many SKUs, many of which are at much lower prices, and have only shipped twice as many GPUs. Meanwhile, AMD Vice President David McAfee said in a podcast that demand for the RX 9070 and 9070 XT has been, quote, unprecedented, and that the company's number one priority is restocking GPUs, particularly at MSRP.
Do you remember the MSRP for the 9070 or XT in CAD?
Yeah. Oh, in CAD, I have no idea, but 549 USD and 599 USD. So that times 1.45 or so.
549 USD to CAD. So 790, and this is Amazon right now. Like, come on. $1,200 cards that are supposed to be $790. Like, please.
I wish I had the power to say, hey guys, just don't buy it if it's not at or at least near MSRP. And this is the thing that I feel like I talk about a lot, and people kind of get frustrated at me for talking about it. But the reason I talk about it is because there seems to be a significant number of people that feel like it's the reviewer's fault for not going hard enough at these companies for the pricing.
Do with it. If you
There's nothing that I can do about it.
Buying so many of them that they're sold out constantly, all you're doing is teaching these companies that honestly they're underpriced. Like,
yes,
that's it.
Yes, 100%.
Supply and demand, right?
And
there clearly
like
isn't
we
enough
talked
supply,
about,
so price can go up.
Like we talked about recently, where we compared the total addressable market for GPUs and gaming, PC gaming, with the kind of viewership that, you know, tech review channels get. I reach this like tiny fraction of gamers. Like, at the end of the day, I don't even see the point from NVIDIA and AMD's perspective. I don't even see the point in engaging with reviewers anymore. Why?
I still think it matters. I know your doomer view on this, but I still think it matters, to be completely honest. I think there's
it matters.
We're
still going to cover it.
I think there's an opinion zeitgeist that can kind of happen where, like, if enough enthusiasts condemn a product, and the price, in my opinion, almost never results in anything, especially for products like this that are just constantly sold out. It's going to become irrelevant to people. But if people are like, this thing just sucks, it's buggy, it doesn't work, whatever, it won't sell. Like, that word will get out to the people that don't watch your channel.
But, I mean, we're talking about very mature companies with very mature product lines. And,
but like,
no. Here, find me a 5090 Founders in stock then. Because that thing literally can light on fire. And everyone's talking about it.
How many of them, though?
I'm just saying, what we say is not going to impact how many they can sell. So why do they care? Why bother to engage with us at all? Because theoretically, right?
Yeah, but I didn't say that what you say matters all the time. I said that if you say that something is really bad, you're not saying it's really bad. You're saying it's very performant but might light on fire. And then they can decide that for themselves. But you can say don't pre-order things and nobody's going to listen, and they're going to pre-order in crazier amounts than you've ever heard of. And you're going to say don't do microtransactions, and people are going to buy microtransactions of like 80% plus of people. But if something is actually just a piece of junk and undesirable because of that, people will not buy it. There are certain things that people won't listen to. They'll let their greed override certain desires. So, like, if it's really expensive, but it's like cool, they're just going to buy it anyways. If they just want it really bad, they'll pre-order it. They'll do whatever. Like those things, those aren't going to stop people. Oh, I shouldn't buy microtransactions, but this guy just killed me in this game, and I would prefer to be able to kill him. So I'm going to buy this microtransaction to become stronger and then beat him anyways. That type of thing is very easy to prey on with people. But if you're like, this thing is actually just junk, then I think people won't buy it. But if you're like, this is great, but so overpriced that at this price, it is basically junk, I think people will still buy it because what they heard is it's great.
But that's the thing is like almost anything, like the humane pin is junk at any price. But almost anything is not junk when it's at the right price, especially when you've got like mature companies with pretty mature testing processes, mostly churning out products that are not complete junk. And so with that in mind, I think there's very few opportunities for us to really like stop consumers from getting scammed. All we can really do is say, hey, here's what's a good value, here's what's not a good value. And it just feels like they're not, we don't have enough reach.
I think junk is too inflammatory. Really matter anyway. But like, look at the market share that Intel had that they have lost, right? Like that didn't just happen from random people that have never looked at any tech reviewers just randomly deciding to buy AMD for the first time in a decade. Like, no, that information came out. That information came from somewhere, it got into people's minds and it spread. You have people testing things. Those people are informing people on Build a PC or PC Part Picker or whatever.
Sure.
These other various sites that are recommendation engines of some sort, the Build a PC section of the forum, whatever it is. And then that spreads out and spreads out and spreads out, and then word of mouth and word of mouth and word of mouth. And now AMD CPUs are super cool. It takes time, but you can saturate this information. You can still get it out. There's no like, tech reviews are not irrelevant. It's just saying that you don't hit even a majority of the market share doesn't mean that you're irrelevant. It just means that a lot of people aren't going to be very actively listening. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I just am. I don't know. I guess it's just surprising to me because I live in my bubble, where anytime that I buy a tech product, I look at reviews for it. And, you know, from my point of view, there's a lot of products that have sold really well that anyone who read a review for it shouldn't buy, and yet they do, you know? And I'm sure that someone, you know, will see me with my, you know, power tool or whatever and go, oh my God, there was a model for 30% less that has, you know, double the battery life, and that idiot, and it's more compact and whatever. And I'm just kind of sitting here going, yeah, I screw a drywall anchor into my wall every once in a while. I just don't really care. And I'm sure they feel the exact same way.
Yeah, I play Fortnite. Is like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm not a pro gamer. I get 60 FPS. Better. Who cares? Yeah, like a lot of people aren't necessarily going to care, but then at the same time, if they hear from their enthusiast friend who watched one of your videos or one of anyone else's videos or read some article or whatever else, that hey, you should buy AMD next time or something else, that will shift.
They're so big.
Purchasing patterns over time.
Such big purchases. I think that's the thing that kind of kills me about it.
I mean, and I excessively research things before I buy them, and so do you, but not everybody's like that, and that's okay.
Like house, car, computer are probably the three most important things in my life, and probably a lot of you guys.
Yeah, and you see people make 30-minute decisions or less on houses. Like this is people buy sight unseen. People are crazy. I don't understand at all. I don't even.
The way people buy cars makes absolutely no sense to me.
The fact
that like high pressure sales, you know, exists in cars, and that people will like make a snap decision. Like my personal policy, if I'm buying something like a car, anything that requires financing, is I have my conversation with them, I go home and sleep. Like there's absolutely no way on this earth that I purchase a car without going home and sleeping.
Yeah, sweet.
but people 100% do it.
Binky Draw says, any house I can get in this economy is worth it. Yeah, so I get that. But like I remember when I was looking for my apartment, I remember I went to a new construction where they had like a demo unit of an apartment built, but the tower wasn't up yet. And you could walk through it and stuff. And I remember talking to one of the salespeople that were there. And I mentioned that like I was kind of surprised because the salespeople that were there were pretty chill. They weren't really doing sales, as it were. They were just kind of like hanging out and giving people snacks and stuff. And they were like, oh yeah, I mean, this is our first showing, but pretty much the entire inventory of the building is sold. And I was like, what? They're like, yeah, we have like 2 units left. We're building like 4 towers. It's all gone. And I was like, okay, like how did that even happen if this is your first showing? And they're like, oh, people saw some pictures online and just bought all of it. It was just renders. Like, okay.
Crazy. Well, if you're buying it as an investment and you're not even going to live in it, then you don't care anyway, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just going to stick your tenant in it. And if the, fridge can only be opened 70% of the way before it whacks into something or whatever, the kind of issue that you would only notice like walking through a place and touching everything,
opening stuff up, doing whatever.
It's not going to be your problem. So what do you care?
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah. Conrad said the BC housing market is looking really good lately. It seems to be doing better things, but I mean, we'll see how.
By looking good, we mean going down.
Yeah, that's looking good up here, to be very clear.
Yeah, I'm still rooting for it, Luke, even though.
Oh yeah.
A significant amount of my net worth is tied up in BC real estate. I am still rooting for it.
You'll be fine.
I've taken a bit of a bath, sir. I've taken a bit of a bath, but you know what? I feel clean. I feel cleansed.
I don't know. I wonder where this. Oh man. Oh, do I even say this? I really don't want to get into this topic on WAN.
Is he muted?
No, I just stopped.
Oh, it looked like your mouth was still moving. That was weird. Oh, it's the delay.
Yeah, probably.
Chat says do it. Yeah. Say it, no balls.
We're in an extremely active, extremely erratic trade war right now. So we'll see what happens to housing in all of Canada, to be honest. Who knows?
Yeah.
We've never been in this situation.
Yeah.
Ever.
But hey, I mean, it was for a really good reason. Like, I know there's a lot of fentanyl going over the border from Canada, and it was really wise. It was wise and measured to put these. Yeah.
It was stable.
You could even say a genius move to put these measures in place.
Dead Antisocial and Full Plane Chat said, say your bull chat, which is a fantastic deep cut. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Good luck, everybody. It all makes a ton of sense. Everything makes sense right now, and good reason is driving actions.
Yeah.